2050, the figures. While it is true that the first duty of any government is protection of lives and property, this data, among others, speak to the need for Nigerians to assist the police in the task of security. Conversation and Panorama will therefore address this imperative as we focus on the roles of states and communities in tackling insecurity. Don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/alllive and on our other social media handles displayed on your screens for updates. I am Adeola Komiakere. Welcome to Panorama. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the worst of insecurity in the country is over. The minister stated this at a joint media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed setting the tone for the presentation of the ministerial scorecards. He said the security challenges facing the country is quite daunting, ranging from terrorism to banditry, kidnapping to separatist violence, crude oil theft to armed robbery, and sundry crimes.
We can say, I want to repeat, that the worst is over, and peace and security are gradually returning to the land. Please safety is a sign of the strength this such. We may see ignorant and wicked bits of escaping challenges here and there, but it will not be a fear that will bring goodness in us.
Lai Mohammed was particularly satisfied with the nation's security operation against the insecurity.
May I also appeal to all our compatriots to continue to support the security agencies in the whole task of people and peace. We must also realize that security is the business of everyone. Every tagline, if you see something, say something.
Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Salih Magashi, his police affairs counterpart, and that of Interior all took turns to read out their scorecards during the period under review.
Kidnapping for ransom, armed banditry, communal clashes have been some of the security threats that bedevil the region. Accordingly, joint military operations are being conducted in the southeast to overcome the threats and to entrench peace and security. The Minister of Human Rights has been instrumental to strengthen Nigerian police to tackle challenges in the internal security architecture of the nation. To effectively achieve its mandate to protect life and property in Nigeria, the Nigerian police have deployed operational intelligence and the IPTB apparatus to tackle and sympathize of crime and criminality.
Their security agencies know to be challenged and likely debated groups and forces to stupid the threats. What we face mostly now are flashes of cowardly attacks from the wrong of groups that have been routed in one direction or the other, moving to another to be the fourth direction that they have been from. Our ultimate goal is to make them all together and resolve total and lasting peace over every inch of the Nigerian world. And that's and take people we are going to do, inshallah, by December.
Even though there were slight hiccups and occasional attacks on soft targets, it is not a show that the criminals are still potent. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Still on security matter, from what was once isolated and far in-between cases, incidences of insecurity in the country have become rather pervasive, an issue of national concern, requiring urgent and collaborative efforts to nip in the bud. Lindeneke examines the role of communities and the state in rolling back insecurity and ensuring adequate protection of lives and property of Nigerians.
For some time now, concern about insecurity has heightened in Nigeria following frequent cases of kidnapping, banditry, violent extremism, killings, farmer-herder conflicts, and smuggling reported in different parts of the country. With some of these crimes taking on religious and ethnic coloration, they have assumed more dangerous dimensions, sowing seeds of distrust and mutual suspicion among brothers. Even in the midst of all this, they believe that security is the business of everyone instead of the government alone holds true, as call for members of the society to take responsibility for their own safety becomes more stringent.
Policing has many actors. Nigerian police agents or officers are just the only paid agents we have. An average Nigerian is a member of policing system in Nigeria.
With police officer to citizens ratio not entirely adequate, the question now is, how best can the people complement existing structures and be their own eyes and ears for the safety of the entire state or territory?
Scavenger also, we monitor them. Most of the time we ask them not even to enter, so because at times you see them in different ways, which we believe that they're not here for only to gather rubbish or this thing that they do collect.
We as citizens should be ready to organize ourselves and discuss this problem as a national security problem, and then of course say something when we see or hear something.
Difficult but not insurmountable, the security challenge in the country may well yield ground to peace and tranquility very soon, if all hands are on deck to support security agencies and make our environment unsafe haven for criminals. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Now joining me live in the studio for more discussion on the roles of states and communities in tackling insecurity is a criminologist and global security analyst, Dixon Osaji. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yeah. All right, now, how well do you know about the Nigerian police effort in policing the state?
All right, thank you. I think that's a fantastic point because sometimes we have a lot of cry from the east, west, south, and north that the Nigerian police are not doing well. When Nigerian police was founded in 1930, coming down from history in 1820 during the Hausa Constabulary and the Calabar and the Lagos Constabulary, they merged together in 1930. That's about 92 years ago. The Nigerian police came into existence. And if you want to ask me, a 92-year-old man, how well do you think he has gone in life? The Nigerian police has come a long way. They've done so well. Nigeria is a very big nation. Now, looking at the ethnography of Nigeria, we sit on a 923,000 square kilometers. 250 ethnic groups, 371 tribes, 520 languages. That alone will tell you that it's not easy to govern a country like Nigeria. But for the Nigerian police, I will take my measurement from the founder of modern day policing, Sir Robert Pierce. They say the best way to prove the effectiveness of the policing system is the absence of crime. So if you ask me how well has the Nigerian police done, I will ask you what is the crime rate in Nigeria. Now if you look at the crime rate in Nigeria, an exception of the multi-dimensional security threat we're facing, terrorism, kidnapping, assassination, banditry, the Nigerian police so well are doing so fine. Even though they need to also work on some area of specific policing, they need to build more on their intelligence policing, technological approach. So for me, I think they've done so well so far. Okay,
now let's do a bit of review on the ban of operations of commercial motorcyclists, popularly referred to as Okada. Okay. How is that move, helping to stem the wave of crime? Fully well in Lagos, it was first in about 6 or thereabout local government, and it was extended to 4 more local government. So how well is this working?
Okay, you see, before I answer your question, let's look at hierarchy of control and hierarchy of protection. In hierarchy of control, anything that poses threats to human life must be eliminated. Now, in hierarchy of protection, what you place priority on? Human lives. You place priority on human lives, and whatever causes or threat to human life must be mitigated. And so if you want me to answer this question, I will tell you that what is the threat implications from the Okada people? What is the threat level? A few days ago, we had about 6 million arms. SBM intelligence says we have about 6 million illegal arms in Nigeria. Now, these Okada guys we are having in Lagos, some of them constitute threats. What I will advise to the state government of Lagos is this: if you want to, eliminate threats, don't create more threats. Are you with me? Because when you take out these guys from the streets, definitely they'll be jobless. Let me tell you something. I was born in the north. I speak outside very fluently. When they were pursuing these guys, there was a traffic. I was trying to meet up an interview. I took a bike from my street to the point, and an outside guys told me something. He said, this one they are taking guns from us. I will have to do something else. I understand this language. So for me, I think the Lagos state government needs to carry out a vulnerability and risk assessment of the Lagos metropolitan state, and let us know what is the major threat we are being faced. If you ask me, am I being faced with an intensive threat from these Okada guys? I will say no. Do we have some bad guys that are using the Okada to perpetrate crimes? Yes, we do. So for me, my point of concern is this: don't create room for insecurity trying to mitigate security. So what the government should have done is that they should go to the crime-prone environment. That's what we call crime mapping. Go to the crime-prone environment, carry out a crime mapping analysis. For example, Mushin is a crime-prone area? If yes, then carry out a crime mapping. Having carried out a crime mapping, ban Okada there. Are you with me? Then if you go to Oshodi, is Oshodi a crime-prone environment? If yes, carry out a crime mapping. Look at the risk implication and the threat implication, and also the vulnerability implication to our people. Then ban Okada. But don't create more space of insecurity while trying to mitigate the state of insecurity.
When they don't have means of
resort to crime.
Yeah. All right. Now, still talking about specifics. We don't seem to have the magic wand against cultism. That's another one. For instance, a couple of days back at Mile 12, there was this disturbance in the air, and it was fatal. Somebody, died. How do we overcome this? Any long-term solution?
Well, there's a long-term solution and there's a short-term solution. But first of all, our institution has a role to play. Then also, like some time ago, I want to also advise the federal government to look at creating Ministry of Homes. A jobless child on the street is a potential threat to the government. And when you look at the enlistment methodology of Boko Haram, bandits, all this while, they are capitalizing on the joblessness of majority of our youth. So if you want to mitigate the spread of cultism and criminal activities, first of all, look at the causative factors. Now, we need to also look at homes, you understand, because most people just think the government is the problem. Here in Nigeria, we are good at centralizing our problem. We don't apportion problems to where it belongs. For example, if federal government are allocating money to state government, if anything happens in the state, federal government will be blamed. So we are centralizing our problem here in Nigeria. So we need to start decentralizing our problem and also nip the problem at the board and also ask people questions. It has to start from family. How do you train a child? It takes 3,000 blocks to train a child. Father, mother, or father, or mother, mother. So like for me, my mother had 11 children. My father had 11 children from one wife. That's my mother. And my father enlisted me into the military 25 years ago. My younger brother was a soldier. My elder brother was a soldier. My father was a soldier. So four of us were a soldier. We contributed to this development of this great nation, Nigeria. So we need to start looking at family, because majority of this problem we're having is from the family. Don't bring up a child you cannot take care of. Any child on the street is a potential threat to the government. So on the side of government as well, government must see the risk implication of people on the street. We must build another ministry. We have about 36 ministries. Let's establish Ministry of Homes. Any person or any mother or father that cannot take care of a child, take that child from that person. Because if you don't take that child from such parents, that child will constitute a threat to the government in the nearest time.
Very, very thoughtful there. Now, what roles can communities or states play, especially since that's where some of those crimes, as you rightly mentioned, or insecurity take place?
All right. You see, presently we are practicing a centralized policing system, and a lot of people have called for community policing. Okay, if you call for community policing or state policing, that means you're going to decentralize the policing system. I heard, I think we borrowed our constitution from the United States. Now, the United States of America, the reason why America is succeeding in the area of crime prevention through environmental design is this security implication. State policing, federal policing and community policing. So I would advise we should fall back to such kind of a policing system, the state policing system, federal policing system, community policing system. That will really mitigate the spread of insecurity in Nigeria. Community policing is a philosophy, state policing is a philosophy. For the fact that we have community policing and state policing does not mean that the federal policing system will be eradicated or eliminated. All will have to report to the federal policing system. So for me, community policing, state policing is a welcome development. It's really going to assist the state government, the federal government in mitigating crime right from the local government and community level.
Okay, and you've been talking so well about this. Is it not time that we take another look at the need for state policing? It's time. You know, why I say this time is that, for example, the Nigerian policing system, earlier on from the report and the analysis, we have about 371,000 security agents. And this security agent will never in any way catch up with the state of insecurity in Nigeria. I would say that the Nigerian policing, or the strength and number of the Nigerian policing system, is very, very low compared to the number of people we have in this country. If you want to take it one by one, let's say a police to 100 citizens, 371,000 police officers and men will not be able to take care of the Nigerian policing system. Okay, thank you, Dixon Osaje, for your thoughts on Panorama, and I hope that Nigerians watching will join the police too. Police the nation. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. All right. Well, moving on now. Media practitioners in Nigeria have been urged to collaborate with the military in addressing the insecurity confronting the country by toning down their reportage concerning security. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, stated this while delivering a lecture at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Lagos, on the topic Contemporary Security Environment and National Development Efforts of the Armed Forces in Nigeria. Hengino John Adams has more.
The critical role of the media in information dissemination in the development of a nation cannot be overemphasized. This is because the media is the watchdog of society. To this end, the military regards the media as partner in progress in her efforts in tackling the challenge of insecurity confronting the nation. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, agreed that the media has been a worthy partner in tackling insecurity through its reportage. However, in recent time, the reverse is the case. The narratives found within the media space are misleading and insensitive as the reportage on insecurity stokes fear among the people. General Irabo, however, urged the media to tone down the hype that they give to issues that have to do with insecurity.
I'm advocating that there must be a shift to give more prominence to government security agencies, of course not necessarily covering some of the ill acts that they may have conducted, but giving prominence to criminal and terrorist activities, in my view, does not speak to our collective good and prosperity.
While acknowledging the tremendous efforts of the media, speakers encouraged media practitioners to see the issue of security as a collective responsibility of everybody.
The role of the media to make sure that they do their work responsibly by giving fair and accurate reports of what is going on, and not just give their report based on rumors and half-baked truths.
The media should, resist any temptation of any kind to sensationalize, the kinds of things that border on security in the country. Because when people read things, from the conventional media especially, what they read from the newspapers, what they hear on TV, on radio, they take very seriously. And that becomes the fact for them.
The military, do they in any way take the media into confidence? Do they have one-on-one briefings with them? Do they introspect with them? So to that extent, if they do not do that, and then they decide to turn around and blame the military.
The lecture, organized by the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, is one of several lectures to address concerns of insecurity confronting the nation. In Lagos, Hengino John Adams, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama on the network service of the NTA. It's time to take a break. We'll be right back.
In states, people get their news and information with more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the new Prime Minister of Britain, Liz Truss, on her assumption of this trusted position of leadership. The President rejoices with the former Secretary of the State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, whose antecedents in government, politics and diplomacy will further shape and strengthen relations with Nigeria and other nations. He affirms that his shared ties between Nigeria and Britain remains strong, positive and mutually beneficial while working with Prime Minister Liz Truss to deepen that relationship. In the interest of both countries, President Buhari appreciates the warmth and friendliness of the immediate past Prime Minister Boris Johnson, wishing him the best in his future endeavors. It's now time for us to join a sports desk for some sports news.
The Nigerian Football Federation has confirmed that the Super Eagles will play Algeria in an exhibition match on September 27. The Nigerian Football Governing Body announced that the friendly game in a post in a social media platform. The match will take place in Oran, Algeria. The last time both nations met was in October 2020 in Austria, where the Super Eagles were defeated by a lone goal. Both Nigeria and Algeria will be at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The match is in preparation for the upcoming African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Still on football, the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the USA women's football team will clash on Tuesday in Washington, D.C. in the second fixture of the two-match tour of the United States. The three-time world champions USA beat the nine-time African champions, the Super Falcons, by 4-0 in the first match. Both USA and Nigeria have qualified to participate in the 9th FIFA Women's World Cup to be staged in Australia and New Zealand in the summer of next year. Still on women's football, FC Robo striker Monde Gift has joined Spanish side Union Deportiva Grandila Tenerife. The 2021-2022 Nigerian Women Football League Premiership top scorer signed a 3-year contract with the Spanish top division. Monde Gift also played for Rivers Angels in the first edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. In other sports, preparations have been concluded for the 12th edition of the Nigerian Navy Games scheduled for the Nigerian Navy Sports Complex, Navy Town, Lagos. The games are to further enhance the physical fitness and well-being of the Nigerian Navy personnel. Programs of the competition was made known at a media briefing in Lagos.
Diversifying ourselves in the area of sports, one will be surprised what is Navy doing playing polo, but you forget that it involves all Nigerians.
Organizers say 22 events will be on display with over 1,600 athletes participating. With sports updates, Gifts George, NTA. And that's it in Panorama today. Do not forget that the fastest and easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with the NTA to stand against rape and rapists. I am Adeola Komiake. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.